All right, guys, Young here with AOR coming at you with a video here about the Tops Bushcraft Kukuri number 7. I've had this is now middle of October. I got it back in February. I've used it on every trip I've been on. I've caught some B-roll, but just never really found the time on my trips to do anything. So I'm dedicating this next hour to going down the General Crook Trail here, number 140 on the Mogollon Rim in Arizona. Find some deadfall and dead standing and put it through its paces and put it together with other B-roll clips that I've done in the past 6 months. So hope you tag along. Well, everything that I'm finding that's big enough for me wanting to tackle with the Kukuri as far as dead standing is either rotten so much it just pushes over, or just too big of a diameter. So I found this down tree. It's probably been here, judging by the branches, season or two, maybe a little longer. I'll try using the Kukuri for some limbing here. Wow. Oh, there's all kinds of fat wood in there. Save that. Well, guys, just as I got here, it started my limbing video. On this dead standing, my SD card took a crap in me on my action camera, or my 360 camera. So as I was getting through this one, I noticed this isn't as dead as I thought. That's all fat wood. So I salvaged me a piece, cut that out with the Kukuri. So I had my suspicions about the how much effort you'd have to put into chopping it versus an axe. And you know, on this small fuel size stuff, very little effort. Of course, some of this stuff is rotten and it's coming off real easy, and some of it more fat wood. I'm gonna take that there. And it makes a great draw knife, but this is the only way I would use it as a draw knife. I got to be real careful. I scanned the area over here. This is a perfect place for timber rattlers, but so you know, to make your fat wood. Now this stuff is rotten. Let me get that in there a little better. There we go. But this isn't a really, this trunk's kind of iffy on stability, but that and my blade may need to be sharpened here. Let me see here. Boom. Come back at it this way. So, yeah, I mean, you can feather stick it. That's another good primo piece of fat wood. I'm gonna go ahead and chop that. That's all fat wood. All right, that may have been wrong. This may not be a very old tree at all, but I'm simulating blazing a trunk. I just don't want to do it on a live tree. And I gotta keep my head on a swivel. I was in this area 3 weeks ago and came face to face with a black bear, so. No, it's rot. Oh, there we go. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not as dead as I thought it was, but very little effort. That's rotten. Fat wood about to dry up in it, but. All right, that was some feather sticking. I know it's real generic, guys. But this is the best I can do given my equipment's failing on me, and I'm about 1.5 miles out of camp. Here, let me, can I reverse this thing? Guess not. Anyways, I'm about 1.5 miles out of camp. Just give you a panorama. And I'm testing out a new tent for next spring. Make sure it's going to be worthy to keep the loved ones warm and dry in inclement weather. And as you can see, the skies, it's getting ready to open up, and I want to make sure I'm back there from that. But yeah, maybe on my way back down the trail, I'll give you my thoughts on the Bushcraft or Kukuri. And I ain't too worried about a bear now. That bears and squirrels are running around. There's no threat in the area. Be back at you in a minute. Alrighty, guys. Sorry for that. The SD card in this camera is acting kind of funky. I don't know if it's because of the cooler weather. We got stuff coming in, but just went down this trail a little bit to demonstrate some of the functionality of the Kukuri and what are my thoughts on it after, you know, since having it since March, so 7 months, and I've used it exclusively over my favorite fixed blade knife, which is a Dawson's Huntsman. And I left it at home on purpose because I knew if I had it, I would just go right back to it. But with that being said, is the Kukuri is the Bushcraft Kukuri 7 for everybody? No. It could be, but for most people out there, and including probably you, my favorite viewer, it's got such a steep learning curve on it that its weight compared to its usefulness, I think it's too great. I mean, you can carry the same amount of weight in a forest axe and do the same things this Kukuri can do, you know, everything I just demonstrated, and it weighs the same, and it's a better chopper. For those of you guys like my other favorite viewer who are hardcore outdoorsmen, bushcrafters, hunters, whatever you want to call it, it might be worth it to you the learning curve on it won't be as steep. It's kind of steep for me because it's not an easy blade to sharpen, and as you've seen in my demonstration, using it as a draw knife, I didn't have a solid anchor into that trunk, but it wasn't really wanting to bite, and that's due to you know, I need to take care of that edge a little better. So is it a bad knife? No, I mean it's fine for what it is. It's an okay chopping tool, better than I expected. Didn't burn as many calories. It's an okay. It's a great draw knife if you got the damn blade sharp. So amateur over here. So like I said, would I recommend it for everybody? No, I would recommend it for somebody who's serious about learning how to use this thing through its steep learning curve. Otherwise, start out with the basics. Buy yourself a Mora fixed blade knife. It ain't gonna cost you a bunch of money. Get yourself a small camp axe or forest axe and a little small saw, and get proficient with those. And as you gain experience in sharpening and taking care of those tools and using them, then look at something like the Kukuri. One other thing I want to note before I get back to the road here. I spent 4 months debating on whether or not I should buy the Kukuri or the tracker. In my honest opinion, I wish I had bought the tracker, but I weighed everything based on all my research about how great Kukuris, a lot of people say Kukuris are as a bushcrafting knife and as an outdoors knife. And I thought, well, hell, this kills two birds with one stone. It gives me a tops knife, which I've never had, and it gives me something robust to use out here. But part of me wishes I had the tracker, mainly because of the sheath, because you can carry it on your belt, scout carry. I didn't like the left-handed dangler it came with, so I ordered the well, as you can see here, I ordered the ballistic nylon original sheath, and I like that a lot better. But I got to find a use for this. I think it's going to be packed away in the action packer in the back of my razor, and it will be a good emergency tool, but I do not think this is something that's going to be a staple in my standard kit. But it's a great knife if you're willing to take the time to learn how to use it. So hope that was informative. I know it wasn't a lot of B video of me using it, but I'm, like I said in the last clip, I'm kind of racing this weather back to camp because I got to get a good I'm hoping it downpour so I could get a good review, initial impression on this tint that I'm doing. So stay tuned for that. Guys, get out here, put in some sweat equity with your gear. See you next time.